Hey guys, this is John Scarborough. I just wanted to talk a little bit today about microgreens and what we do with the dirt, with the soil after we're done growing. There's a couple different things that we do. This is one of the things that we do, and right now it just looks like we went and threw it all out on the ground. And that's pretty much what we did. We do compost some of it. There's a couple different things, like I said, that we do for the soil. Okay, and composting is definitely going to be one of them, just because we can go back and my wife, she can use that in her greenhouse that we're wanting to build her, and things like that. We can continue to take the things that we already have and get more use out of it. But this is something else I kind of wanted to point out here. And this works a lot better in the springtime. And in the summer, we did that. We were doing quite a bit of it. We never put a video out for it. But look at this. We put this out a little while ago, and then it frosted, and the cows ate on it and everything, and it completely died out. I mean, there was nothing left. But the seed, there was still enough seed in there that a lot of this is coming back. And this is an entire salad bar here. And we poured this out in our cattle pasture here. So what this is this is bringing on all sorts of good valuable plants that the cows can eat. And actually, anytime the weather gets just about above freezing, most of these plants will come back and start growing. So that's something else that's palatable for the cattle. And in the summertime, we put it out, and it just keeps on growing, and it explodes. And it's things like peas and radishes, and it's just all kinds of good stuff. Now, you might want to do some research on it if you're planning on putting it out where your animals are. Might want to do some research. There may be a plant or two in there that is not good for them to eat. For the most part, we haven't found anything that's a problem. But you need to do your own research, because I don't know what kind of animals you got or anything like that. But this is just kind of something, if you're doing both of them like we are. We're doing cattle and we're doing microgreens. And you can see, I mean, they're starting to explode down in here. Because we haven't had a frost in a little while, and they started coming back. And that's just kind of how it is here in North Louisiana, North Central Louisiana. We have a lot of days where it's not freezing, and so you get 4 or 5 days where it's not freezing. You start getting winter grass growing, and you start getting stuff like this growing. So you look at this as a grand scheme. Okay, you look at that little pile there. Now, first of all, we have multiple places that we've put this out in. But you look at this and you're like, well, that's not really going to do you a whole lot of good as far as cows go. I mean, sure, that's great, but how much are you really getting? Well, you're not. This is not enough to feed cows by any means. It's not enough to help you out through the wintertime. But this is also, first of all, if we had all the trays that we ever got through this past year, well, through the past couple of months since we started doing this, we would probably have a good spot. I would say, I don't know, I'll just put a square footage point on it. I'm not even sure how I would say that. Probably at least a 40 by 60 area that would be covered in this right here from 1 year. Okay, so all this stuff grows and then goes back to seed. Okay, well, this stuff is all winter plants, all except for the pea shoots. Okay, it's all winter plants, so it's not going to grow in the summertime. So it's not like you're messing with your spring grasses, and your spring grasses would overcome them anyway. These are annual plants, you know, and they're not going to be weeds. These are all good palatable foods for cattle, so it's not going to hurt you there. The only one that is something that grows in the summer are the peas. But peas are actually a legume, and they actually help bring nitrogen to your soil anyway, and cows love them. So that's not hurting us. What my point was is a 40 by 60 area we would have covered with that right there, with this right here, and all it came from was a 5 by I think it's a 4 by 6 shelf that we're growing on. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Okay, so if we were able to reach out to other restaurants and stuff, which we're trying to do, and expand to the point where we had a couple more shelves, get to the place where we get the microgreen business to where we want to get it, this could actually be pretty decent little coverage that you would get. But here's the next main point that I want to make. Besides the fact that you're bringing in a little bit of extra forage, not a lot, okay, but a little bit of extra forage here and there for pickings, okay, this is the main point. This is a lot of organic matter, okay? Look at that. That's about 2 inches thick of organic matter that goes on there. Now your earthworms are going to start to consume that. There's a lot of root structure in there, which is great organic material, a great carbon that's in there. There's a lot of, and then when these greens start growing up, that's even more organic matter that grows up. And here's the benefit. Well, there's multiple benefits of organic matter, but here's one of the main points about organic matter. Now, I'm not exactly sure on my numbers, so don't quote me on this, but I'm going to paraphrase a little bit. I'm fairly certain the numbers go like this. It's about, I want to say, for every 1 inch, I did some reading on this recently. For every 1 inch of organic matter, you get 2,500 gallons more water per year per acre. No, I'm wrong. I did not do reading on that. My bad. Guys, I actually saw that on another video. Somebody else posted. Greg Judy, he posted that. I apologize for that. I didn't actually read about that. I did later do a little bit of research on it. But I actually got that from Greg Judy. So go check his videos out. If you want to know anything about soil, he's the one to talk to. But the point is that I believe it was 1 inch for every 1 inch extra of organic matter. Okay, so we've got 2 inches here. So every 1 inch per acre that you get 2,500 gallons more water that it will hold. That's how much more water 1 acre will hold. If you took that entire acre and you covered it with 1 inch more, get 1 inch more organic matter. So like this right here, you took that and you had 1 inch of organic matter, okay? And if you did that and you covered the entire square acre of that acre would now hold an extra 2,500 gallons of water. So all the water that comes in the winter, all that water that's coming down, all that rain coming down, your soil would now hold more of it, and less of it would end up down there in that creek, washing the creek out, running down and heading into the rivers and things like that. I'm not saying that we don't want some of it down there, but the point is more of it would be held up here on your soil and would allow you to grow more forage during the summer. And yes, that is how that works. Some people like to argue with me about that, but that is how that works. You can hold more and more and more water in your ground, in your soil, and you can actually start to increase the growth of your forage in your ground, just simply because of the amount of water that you're now holding in your soil. And that comes from carbon, and it comes from organic matter that breaks down to carbon. But the great thing is we don't even have to have the carbon. It doesn't have to turn into carbon right off the bat. As soon as the organic matter is down on the ground, from this right here, from grass that's left behind, from this that's put down here, now we're holding that much more water in our soil. That's the point I wanted to make about this, guys, is all the organic matter that you're getting out of this, plus a little bit of added benefit there. So we can compost some of this, and we do, to use it for places that we want to use. But this right here, there's nothing wrong with doing this right here. There's nothing wrong with this right here. And this, I mean, it's just one more thing that you can do on your farm to help out, help increase the quality of your farm. So I've got land here that's mine, and then I've got land that are other people's that I work on. So I want to increase the quality of both, because the land that I'm leasing, and then the land that I've got that I don't have any lease on at all, that I'm just using, all of those pieces of land I want to increase the value of, for me, for my cattle, but also for the landowner. I want the landowner to stay happy with me and not want to kick me off, because that's how I'm making my living. So if I make him happy, then he'll keep me around, and then I'm happy too. But also, other farmers talk to the people, other landowners talk to the people that own that land, and then so that's helping my name grow. Okay, so you want to keep your landowners happy, and you want to treat their land like it's your land. For every piece of land, whether it's a free lease, whether it's a lease you pay for, no matter what it is, you want to treat it like it is your land. Now, I'm not saying go out and invest every dime you have into a piece of land you don't own. You got to be careful about that. You got to negotiate good lease agreements and things like that. So be careful about that, but you want to do as much as you can to take care of the property. Stuff like this ain't costing me anything, because the dirt has already paid for itself when we grew the microgreens and turned around and sold them. So anyway, this is what I like to call, and I'm getting this from Greg Judy too, by the way, I like to call this regenerative right here, because we've already used this soil, we've already used this income that we spent. Okay, we had to outsource this, we had to get this soil from, you know, actually go buy the soil for it. But the point is that we bought it, we made an income on it, now we put it back on the farm and let it go back to work for us again and again and again and again. So anyway, guys, not to drag this video out, but thanks everybody. Go check out Greg Judy. He's definitely a good one to learn from. I've been watching a couple of his videos here lately. He's definitely a good one. So go check that out, guys, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I try to put a lot of good content out there, and a lot of stuff that that is useful here in North Louisiana. There are a lot of things that are different here than in a lot of other places. Like, we get more moisture, we get more humidity, we get it's harder to grow stockpile forage here. There's a lot of things that we do here that you can't, that are done in other places that you can't really do here. And so I'm actually pioneering a lot of this stuff, and then there's a lot of stuff I'm learning about through research and things like that. And all of that stuff I'm trying to put on these videos to help other people, to keep, just so that y'all can come look at the video, get the knowledge that you can get. And so mostly it's just a good journey, but I'm trying to put all the knowledge that I do have out there and everything that I'm continually learning. So anyway, guys, thanks. Don't forget to subscribe.